Think of the poetry of Alexander Blok. Where is the reference to the treacherous woman who calls herself a snake?
Why do they call a woman a snake if the snake is a symbol of wisdom? Very often, when they want to prick a woman, they say to her, "What a snake you are!" Or throw it in her face with hatred, "Snake." But does a snake deserve such an attitude? At all times, since ancient times, the snake was worshipped, graves and stone sculptures were erected, and it was raised on a pedestal. The snake is found in the mythology of various nations. Python, the snakes in the oracle at Delphi, the snake of Orpheus, the sacred snakes Midgard Scandinavians, the bronze serpents of the Jews. This is only a small part of serpent worship as a symbol. In esotericism, the snake occupied almost the dominant place. Think of Pythia sitting on a throne, a tripod, whose legs were wrapped with snakes. Apparently, the snakes helped the priestess to divine by sending her impulses with predictions. Remember the god Hermes, whose rod was wrapped in snakes. It is this serpent rod that has remained for centuries as the symbol of the doctor, the emblem of the medical profession. But why, then, was there such a prejudiced attitude toward the snake? Perhaps because it was the snake that was responsible for Adam's seduction of Eve. But the serpent is wise. It only gave a clue. And it was up to man to decide what to do. The snake gave people the opportunity to know themselves. People did what their own self told them to do, instead of following the temptations of the snake. The serpent is also a symbol of immortality. The ancients believed that if the snake was not killed, it would live forever. But even in fairy tales and legends, snake cut off the head, and in its place immediately grows another. There was also another opinion, as if the snake is a symbol of evil. Think of the serpent Gorgon. It seems to be a woman, but on her head, a lot of wriggling snakes. The Indians believed that the snakes are in a close relationship with the earth spirit. And to placate him, they annually performed a snake dance, while sanctifying the snakes, and then said a prayer, and let the snakes go free. Perhaps the echoes of these legends and traditions have left their mark. After all, the serpent and the woman are one, female. But why then is a woman not compared to another animal, but more often it is the snake that is remembered? Let us return from our time, for example, to the Middle Ages. Could a woman openly confront a man, openly express her discontent and resentment? She had to keep her mouth shut and not to contradict her husband or anyone else. The only thing she could allow herself was to turn away and whisper threats against the one who had angered her in a low, almost involuntary whisper. And then it was something like a snake hissing. A woman is also a treacherous creature. If you make her angry, it will not be enough. She might not retaliate openly. But she will choose a moment, and when her offender least expects it, she will sting. So do snakes. Normally, a snake will not attack a person first. On the contrary, it will try to hide even before it is discovered. But if it feels threatened, it starts hissing and may attack, injecting its deadly venom into the offender. For a woman with a calm character, no one would even think of calling her a snake or a snake. That epithet is awarded to those who wriggle like a snake, trying to get out of a tricky situation in which it was caught. Or those who sting with words, believing that an attack is the best defense. The perfidy of such women knows no bounds. They can either cajole, squirt, or, conversely, attack, spitting poisonous saliva. Unfortunately, there are more and more such snakes. If a snake, I mean a reptile, stings out of self-preservation, defending itself, then snakes in female form sting to assert themselves. Especially when they feel impunity. For example, on the internet, when they talk trash about people they have never seen. But they take great pleasure in humiliating their own tribe's women. And only because they are more successful, more beautiful, happier. But more often than not, the snakes act stealthily. They are clever in their own way, as they bide their time, searching for the most vulnerable spot in order to hit it. This is a true snake under the skin. Where did the name come from? In the past, when almost all utensils were made of wood, there was such a thing as a stake. A hive, a trough, and even a coffin were all called a chump. That is, anything that could be made by hollowing out the middle of a log. Such a hollow/trough was used for feeding livestock. This trough was not moved from place to place. And under it, Snakes often found shelter, hiding either from the sun or from the cold. And if suddenly such a snake was accidentally disturbed, it would certainly attack. Hence came the expression snake legs. They say that they sit and wait. Such women can weave intrigues behind a man's back, and he will not even guess about it.